ম্যাডাম স্পিকার জয়েন করলে আমরা শুরু করছি। Hello, am I audible?
Hi everyone. Hi Devlina.
Hello, Ira.
How are you?
Hello. Yeah, hi. Yeah, we are
Nice to
about to
meet you.
start the session. Yes, nice to see you. Starting soon.
Debolina? Hi, Debolina.
Yes,
Deblina?
madam. Madam, we are waiting for
Hello?
Mohananda madam to join. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you are audible.
দেবলিনা শোনা যাচ্ছে? Is it audible?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাডাম শোনা যাচ্ছে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ অডিবল ইয়েস ম্যাম ইউ আর অডিবল we are just waiting for Mohananda ma'am to join. We will soon start.
While we wait to start the session, I'll be very happy to hear from the students. If anyone would like to just introduce yourself and let me know what you're studying, that would
Yeah,
be really
students,
nice.
please interact. Yeah.
If you can just let me know your name and what year and what you're studying, please. So maybe because I can see whoever I can see on my screen, maybe Anjan, you can start. Or Sulagna. Anyone can introduce themselves.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, myself Dr. Moitri Rekanjilal, Principal of Victoria Institution College. Let us take just 2-3 minutes to join other participants, then let us start.
Great. Sure. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay, we can just begin the program. Let Mohananda Madam, the principal of Durgapur Women's College, to join. Uh, okay, very good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of Institution Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Cell and the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC, of Victoria Institution College, in collaboration with the IQAC of Durgapur Women's College, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's online session, Inspiring Innovation and Social Change, a journey with Ira Guha. So this program has been designed as a part of our continued effort to foster entrepreneurial thinking, creativity, and social responsibility among the students. So today we are not only going to learn about innovation, but also the power of combining innovation with compassion. So how a single idea can spark the movement, bring changes in lives, and inspire a generation. So we are indeed very happy that we have among us our very own principal madam, Dr. Moitri Rai Kanjilal. So I'd request madam to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Devalina Mojumdar. Today we have organized the online session in collaboration with Durgapur Women's College. I think Dr. Mohananda Kanjilal is not joining here. Devalina, she has joined.
No, madam, she hasn't joined you.
Okay. She will join very soon. So, on behalf of the Victoria Institution College, I welcome all the participants. Today's speaker, as well as guest, Miss Ira Guha, to deliver the lecture. Today is Innovation Cell under the Institute Innovation Council. They have arranged the program to make aware. It is rather better to say that to nurture the innovation skill of the students and to face the challenges in that direction. So I feel Ms. Ira is the best person to guide the students in this direction. So I'll not take much time. I will just say that our participants, especially the students of Victoria Institution College and Durgapur Women's College, if any students join from other colleges, they try to get the information as much as possible from Miss Ira because she is a very successful innovators. It is better to say that she is very successful innovator. She has faced challenges because in that direction the challenges are there in every direction. When we move towards our professional life, we have to face the challenges. In case of to be the entrepreneur, the challenges is much more. So Miss Ira will narrate whatever the challenges and how you can overcome that challenges or you should face the challenges. She will guide you. I request the participants to get the information, not only the students, also I request the teachers to get the information so that you can also guide your students in that direction. Nowadays, as per the national education policy, in the education system, the innovation, entrepreneur, these are aligned with the curriculum. So the students has to go in that direction and also teachers has to accumulate the informations to guide their students in that directions. I believe this online workshop or online seminar today they have arranged that will get a grand success. I wish all the best. Thank you to Miss Ira for being present here. She is very busy, successful woman entrepreneur. So we are very much grateful to you also. You have given the time. Thank you. Move on.
Thank you so much, madam, for your kind words, inspiring words. She has always been a source of inspiration for us. Okay, so now it's the time to introduce the heart of today's program, our distinguished guest, Ms. Ira Guha, the founder and the CEO of ASAN. Ms. Guha is an alumna of Cambridge University, where she pursued her master's degree in international development. Her academic journey took her across the globe, But what truly defined her was her passion to address the real world challenges with innovative solutions. So during her travel and research, she encountered the pressing issue of menstrual health and hygiene, especially in the developing region where lack of access and stigma created barriers, especially for women. So, determined to make such differences, she went on to establish Ashan, a social enterprise that introduced the Ashan menstrual cup, which is a safe, sustainable, and affordable solution to the menstrual health. What makes Ashan unique is not just the product, but its mission. For every menstrual cup sold, one is donated to the woman in need. So, this buy one, get one model has made Ashan a movement of dignity, sustainability, and empowerment. So Ms. Guha's journey reflects courage, innovation, empathy, from raising awareness and challenging taboos to build brand that recognizes globally. She is an example of how entrepreneurs can also be a change makers. So today she stands as a voice for her sustainable, innovative, and social justice. So it is absolutely an honor to have her with us today to share her journey, challenges, and insights. I would now request warmly invite our distinguished speaker to virtually take her floor and deliver her talk.
Great. Thank you so much to you both for that very, very warm introduction. And it's wonderful to be here with both the colleges and meet you all. I would really like to keep today's session interactive. So if you feel comfortable switching on your video, please do, because I'd love to meet all of you and see you. I'm going to give a presentation that's, instead of just talking about my work and my innovation, I really thought I would like to relate to you all as students. So I'm going to start with my student journey and talk you through a bit about my education and what actually led me to go down the path of social entrepreneurship. So hopefully it's very relatable to all of you. And the presentation will be 20 or 30 minutes. And as I'm speaking, please, if you have any questions, just write them down. Because as I said, I'd really like it to be interactive. So I'd love to have a question from each of you at the end. So Devlina, I'm just going to share my screen. And
Sure.
you can let me know when. Okay, so I don't know if you have to enable the screen sharing.
Screen share is already enabled, I think.
It says something went wrong. Okay, let's try again. Otherwise, I maybe have to leave and read the code. Hang on. No, something went wrong. So let me leave and join in 1 minute and try and share.
Sure. That file, I can share it on behalf of you.
I'll do that now.
Yeah.
Let me try. I'm emailing it to you. Like I said, I wanted to start by talking you through my student journey because it's probably aware of menstrual health, mainly from my own experience. And that's because any of you who are, women on the call today will know that it's actually quite hard to exercise during periods, right? Because when you have pads, it can be quite a challenge. And I was really playing competitive basketball, so I would have to, do lots of training, 5 hours, 6 hours a day, no matter whether I was on my period or not. And one very difficult experience actually that I had traveling around India was the disposal of sanitary pads. When I used to go to states like Chhattisgarh and we used to stay in hostels, they wouldn't even have dustbins. And, growing up in Bangalore, I was very privileged. I could easily throw my pad away, no problem at all. But actually, this experience of traveling made me realize how difficult it can be to manage periods. And I used to sometimes even have to carry around like dirty pads until I found a dustbin. It was quite a difficult experience. So this is actually kind of just showing you how even as a child, I was at the back of my mind, I was learning about menstrual health, and I didn't know that in the future I would like to solve it, but it was just some personal experiences that I was having. And when it comes to social innovation and social entrepreneurship, I think most often it comes from a problem that you yourself have experienced, right? So this is something I myself experienced from a very young age. So after school, I then went to study politics at the University of Cambridge. So that's in the UK. So quite young, at the age of 18. I don't know if all of you studying are living in the same place where you grew up, or maybe some of the students have moved to a different city, but it's quite a big experience, right? So I actually moved halfway across the world. I moved to the UK and I studied politics. And that's a picture of my Cambridge college and me at graduation. And studying politics at college, I also really had this interest in social impact and global affairs, and always thinking that I'm from India, but I've come from the UK, and how can I do something to help my community? That was always in the back of my mind. But then after university, just like all of you, I was thinking, what can I do? And, I have to get a good job. I want a good salary. And so I took a job in the city of London in Accenture. So it's a consulting firm, and, they came to our campus and they recruited the students. And that was the first job I went for. And I thought, it looks like a great job, great salary in London. And I showed up there very excited. But after a couple of weeks, I realized that the job was really not a good fit. Although it was well paid and, it was a prestigious job, it was just my actual day-to-day work was very corporate. I was advising some UK clients on, phone contracts, on selling more banking contracts, things like this. And, having grown up in India, having studied politics, like what I just really was, it wasn't a good fit. What was I doing advising UK businesses? It just I didn't feel passionate about it. And going to work every day was not like, I just didn't feel interested. I felt, oh my God, I have to do this work that I was just complaining all the time. So even though it was well paid, I didn't feel any passion towards it. And I knew that it wasn't the right fit for me. So I actually quit my job and I went to do a social impact master's at Harvard University at the Kennedy School. And this was a really good fit because I was studying social impact, social entrepreneurship. And then it was actually during this time that I revisited this interest in menstrual health that I had. And how that happened was through an interaction with actually my mom's cook in Bangalore. So this is a picture of Mary, and she was working as a cook in my mother's house. And on one of my trips home from the UK, she had stopped coming to work. So my mother asked me, can you call her and ask her if she's okay? And actually, I thought maybe she's not well. Nothing was wrong with her. She just had really bad rashes from the sanitary pad she was using, so bad that she had stopped coming to work. And, I was completely shocked that, she could have such a bad reaction, but the pads were such low quality. And I don't know how many of you on this call have watched the Bollywood movie Padman. This was actually around the same time that movie came out. And everybody thought that pads are a great solution. And this was my first interaction with a domestic worker who actually told me that the women in her community, the pads were such poor quality and they didn't have any way to dispose them. They were actually switching back to cloth rags. So I then decided I would do some research, and I learned that the experience she was going through was completely universal. So 1.6 billion women globally still cannot afford access to any kind of safe period care. And this makes them 70% more likely to suffer from recurrent urinary tract infections. And then finally, in India, like the main thing we all have to realize is menstrual health. It's not just about health, it's stopping us from earning money. As a nation, we are losing around $100 billion in GDP. And that's because women are not working during periods and girls are not going to school during periods. So literally that earning potential, we have millions of women staying at home. They could be working as farmers, or they could be working in offices, or they could be working in manufacturing, or they could be going to college, but because they don't have period products, they're staying at home, and we as a society are actually losing billions of dollars. So doing this research while I was a student at Harvard was a complete, shock to me. And of course, just like all of you might be thinking, well, obviously sanitary pads are the solution, right? So I started looking into sanitary pads. And what I learned was that sanitary pads are actually just not a good solution, especially in rural India. So we dispose 12.3 billion pads every single year. And all of that is plastic waste that is not biodegradable. And to be honest, it's just not sustainable, right? Because maybe if you think about a city, you can throw your pad away and it's easy for it to be disposed of. But in a village or in a small town, these pads have to be burnt, and that releases toxic fumes, or they're thrown into waterways. And also they are actually just not good for health because they contain plastic and they contain toxins. So as a student, I realized we have to have a better solution. And that's how I decided to design and innovate my own menstrual cup called the Asan Cup. This is actually pictures of me at the Harvard Innovation Lab, where I worked with an engineer, staying up late nights, designing our product. I'll talk to you a bit more about the menstrual cup and how it works. And you can see on the right, these are actually some of our early prototypes. So these are our first prototypes of the Asan Cup, which after, 2 years of user testing now looks like this. So the Asan Cup is the perfect solution both to period poverty. Period poverty is, women not being able to afford sanitary pads, and also to sanitary waste. And this is for 3 reasons. Firstly, it's extremely safe compared to pads. The Asan Cup is made from a material called medical silicone. It has no toxins and no plastic, so it's actually much better for your body. Secondly, it's much more affordable because one Asan Cup costs the same as just a few pads, but you can reuse it for 10 years. So you save a huge amount of money. And thirdly, the Asan Cup is the world's most sustainable period product because one cup replaces 2,500 sanitary pads. So just one Asan Cup versus 2,500 pads. So you think about, how much money women save, but then also how many pads are stopped from going to landfill. And I think everyone here probably is a Hindi speaker as well. So, Asan means easy. So that's how we gave it the name. Our mission is to make women's lives easy. So think about yourselves. You're all students right now, right? I was a student working on creating this product, and what started as a graduate student project for me became into a sustainable business. And within just 4 years, Asan has acquired 100,000 users of our menstrual cup. And these women are from all backgrounds and from all across the world. We started in Karnataka. We now have spread across India. We sell in UK and Europe, and also to many African countries as well, because they face the same challenges of menstrual health and the same challenges of period poverty. So we work in Zanzibar, in Tanzania. We have a project in Malawi. So more than 100,000 users globally. And, some of you might have heard of menstrual cups before, but because Asan was innovated from scratch at Harvard, it really is, much higher quality and much better than products that were out there. So the Asan Cup has won many awards for being the world's easiest menstrual cup to use. It has this ring design, you'll see, so it's very, very easy to take out. It's completely leak proof. You can wear it for 12 hours without leaks. And also the fact that it's red means, even though you're reusing it, even after 10 years, it looks brand new. So it's a very durable product. For those of you who've never heard of cups, I just thought it might be useful to tell you how it works. Some of you may know, some of you may be like, what is this? I've never heard of it, because it's very different to a pad. So how does it work? The main thing is to clean it. You have to put it in hot water because it's silicone. So you put it in hot water or you boil it, and that's what cleans it. Then to insert it, you just have to fold it in half, and I can do a demonstration after and show you. You fold it in half and you insert it into your body, and actually it will keep you for 12 hours. I think we have some disturbance. Okay, great. The person is muted. Yeah. So you can insert it into your body, and then actually it's amazing because you don't feel it at all. So there are no rashes like a pad. There's no discomfort. There's no smell. It's almost like your period is not there. You're not on your period at all. And then after 12 hours, so you put it on at 7 a.m., you don't have to take it out until the night. So at night, you just take it out. You can wash it and insert it straight away, so it's reusable. And any questions about how it works, I can answer again at the end. So why is the Asan Cup so much better than pads, especially for rural women and girls, but actually for all of us? The first point is that it's extremely affordable, because actually, if you think about, most women in India spend 100 to 200 rupees a month on pads. And if you add that up over their lifetime, it can be, 1 lakh rupees that you're just literally spending on sanitary pads, right? So here, the Asan Cup, it's a one-time purchase, and it will last you forever. So it's much more affordable. Secondly, it's much more comfortable compared to pads because you don't feel it, and it's leak-proof. You can wear it for 12 hours instead of changing pads every 4 hours, 5 hours. This will hold 3 times more fluid. So especially if you're going, like college girls have a long day in college, it's so easy because you don't have to keep going to the bathroom, nothing to throw away. The next benefit is that it's very discreet. So especially in rural India, one challenge we found with rags, cloth rags, is you have to hang them up to dry. And then, because of the taboos around periods, people don't want to hang their pad outside. So they would usually do it in a dark place or cover it with a sari, and then the infection would spread. Similarly, with pads, you have to go buy it, and then you have to store it. And then when it comes to disposing it, you have to hide it and then burn it. It's a very difficult process. Because the cup is very small, it's very discreet. Actually, nobody knows when you're menstruating, whether it's your husband or your mother-in-law, nobody knows. It's a very private thing. It actually gives women a lot more freedom. Then there's also better health. So women who switch from sanitary pads to the Asan Cup have 70% reduction in bacterial vaginosis, which is an infection caused actually by using pads and rags. So much, much better for your health. And then finally, like I mentioned, it's the world's most eco-friendly period product. One Asan Cup stops 2,500 pads. So this is all about the product. So I thought I'll tell you a little bit more about how we work. So as Devleena mentioned, Asan has a 1-for-1 donation model where for every cup we sell, we also donate one for free in rural India. But we've also, expanded and innovated our business model even further because we want to reach as many women as we can. So we have 2 sales channels, and I can talk to you about them. The first is called direct to customer. That's where we sell directly to women across India and globally. For example, that could be on Amazon, on Flipkart, on channels like that. And the second is what we call wholesale partnerships, where we actually partner with institutions that employ low-income women. So a really good example from West Bengal is we work with the biggest tea plantation in West Bengal. It's owned by Tata Tea. It's called Amalgamated Limited. And they have 12 tea plantations across West Bengal and Assam. And the tea, they have 15,000 female tea pickers. And you think about the tea pickers, they go into the field all day. They don't have access to toilets and they're just picking tea, right? So during periods, they actually don't work because there's no way for them to go into the fields. But with the Asan Cup, all of them can work. So we will partner with the tea plantation to give the Asan Cup to all of the employees. And for us, that's very, very good social impact. So these are some statistics about, in just 4 short years, what Asan has achieved. Because again, this is, I talk about periods and menstrual health, but this is not just about periods. This is about women and girls sitting at home, not being productive, not contributing to the economy. And the impact that we have is way beyond periods. So already ASAN has enabled 23 million extra days of school and work attendance. So that's literally people sitting at home who are now going to school, going to work, generating an income. We've saved $20 million spending on sanitary pads. So as I said, one woman can spend even $1 lakh or more on pads. And if you add that up, all of the women we've helped, they've saved more than $20 million. We've created an 80% reduction in rashes and infections. So huge improvement in health. And then finally, ASAN has already stopped more than 2.5 million kgs of waste. And when we all talk about climate change and sustainability. And when you think about a pad, it's not just that you're throwing the pad away in landfill. It's the entire life cycle of first, it has to be manufactured, then it has to be transported. Then you buy the pad, you use it for just 4 hours and you throw it away. And think about that whole infrastructure and manufacturing that's gone into making it is very polluting. So the waste that ASAN has averted is equivalent to 8,900 tons of CO2 emissions. So this is all, now when she switched to the ASAN Cup, it was like 12 hours, no worries. So she could go to college, come home. She didn't have to dispose of anything. She never had leaks. She never missed college. She never missed an exam. And she and her friends actually started calling it Magical Cup. And they were all like, have you used the Magical Cup? And they started educating each other to switch to it. So these girls are all, helping each other. And it's an amazing network effect. And that's just one of, thousands of stories that we've collected from these girls. So a little bit about our team, because we have a really, really strong team, all women. And my colleagues who are mostly in Bangalore, they have expertise across sales, marketing, social impact, and menstrual health. And because we've got this amazing mission to end period poverty, we've also attracted some amazing investors and funders. So Cartier, which is a big jewelry brand, is one of our funders. Innovate UK, that's the UK government, funds us. And then we've also got, funding from Cambridge and Harvard University. So because of this mission, we've managed to get some really top name investors and funders. So I'm coming kind of to the end of the presentation, but I wanted to actually tell you all about a very exciting new project that ASAN has been working on, because, speaking to thousands of women across India and globally, one thing we've learned is that the education level and the awareness level about periods is very low. So we wanted to create some free resource to improve awareness. So one of the resources that we've made is called the ASAN Period Tracker, and it's 100% free period tracking app. And it's very educational because it doesn't just tell you, help you predict the dates of your period. It actually talks you through your menstrual cycle. So some things that we don't realize as women is that our hormones fluctuate. And sometimes in our menstrual cycle, we feel very energetic. And other times, like right before our period, we feel very low. We have low energy. Maybe you feel bloated. You have certain symptoms, but you don't know why that is. And understanding these changes is actually very empowering. So ASAN is 100% free period tracker, which is an amazing educational resource. Mute. Yes, thank you so much. So I actually, I thought I'll give you the QR code and just give you a minute. If anyone is interested, the ASAN Period Tracker is 100% free and it's available on the Google Play Store or the App Store. So you can just scan this QR code, get the free resource, and then it'll actually enable you to track your periods and understand your own menstrual cycle. And I'm sure, we can send this around later, but you can even just go to the Play Store and search ASAN Period Tracker. Maybe I'll just give a few seconds on this slide in case anyone wants to do that. And any questions about this later, I can also take them. I also, in case any of you are curious about the ASAN Cup, we really want to support students switching to sustainable periods. So we also wanted to give a 50% discount code to all students, whether it's for yourself or for a friend. If you're curious about the ASAN Cup and you want to try it yourself, you can get 50% off. And you can just use the code student50 at asancup.in. So I'll send this to Devlina. You can always share it with the students. This will be live going forward. They can always use it. And then finally, if you want to stay in touch, please follow us on Instagram, because we partner with gynecologists and we share them really fun, informative and educational content about our social impact, about health, about sustainability. If any of the topics I've spoken about today interest you, definitely follow us on Instagram. Just scan the code or, search Asancup on Instagram and we can stay in touch there. But if there's one message, that I would like to leave you all with, it's that, periods are universal. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer in Delhi or if you're a student in West Bengal, or if you're a tea picker in, Assam, or if you're even from New York or London, it doesn't matter. Our experience of periods is universal. And every single woman in India and globally deserves access to the best period care. And that's what Asan is working to achieve. So I will pause there, and I really hope this was helpful, and would be very happy to take questions from all of you.
Thank you so much, Ira. I think the floor is now open for questions. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask Ira. Yeah. Yes, Anjali, go ahead. Please unmute yourself and ask.
Actually, I have two questions. One by one, I want Ira ma'am to answer them. First question is that, how do you manage to create awareness about your product in rural areas, and whatever the awareness is all about, like the menstruation or these touchy topics in rural areas? What are the difficulties faced by you in spreading this awareness? I would like to know.
That's a very good question, Anjali. So there are two main. So one thing I didn't touch upon is that in addition to the product, we have created a very rigorous behavioral change model. So how do you get a woman in a village who doesn't have the awareness to actually adopt this product? And there are two key factors in the behavioral change model. The first is that the education and awareness has to come from a very trusted source. So for example, I'm from Bangalore. If I go to West Bengal and talk in a tea plantation about the Asancup, probably there's no trust, because the women there local NGOs will have staff and could also be teachers. In something like a tea plantation, we might identify, the bosses in the tea plantation. So the first step is we identify these trusted sources. We give them the Asancup, let them use it for a few months, and we give them a very in-depth training of how they can talk about it to their peers, to their colleagues. So then that starts a network effect. So instead of somebody from outside the village going in, it's from within the village, like your local ASHA worker. She's the same lady who gave you vaccines. She's the same lady who helped you when you delivered your baby. And now she's telling you, oh, and also they use it themselves. They say, oh my God, I'm using this Asancup, and all those rashes I used to have, or all those problems I used to have, I don't have it anymore. And then because she's a very trusted source, her word is very important. So then she can educate others. The second point that's very important in behavioral change is local language education. So Asan works in more than 15 or 16 vernacular languages in India and Africa. So all of our training, all of our videos, the user guide that comes in the box, it's all in the local language, whether that's Bengali or Hindi or Tamil or Kannada. So we have lots of videos. So the woman who receives it, all that education and awareness is also in her local language. And then this process of education is not just one time, it goes on for 6 months. So maybe the ASHA worker educates you, she gives you an Asancup, then 3 months later, she follows up if you have questions. So it's a continuous process. But the amazing thing that happens is network effects, because if you have a village of, say, 800 women, once 200 of them are using it, because it's so deeply life-changing, they can't shut up about it. Like, they keep talking about it. And these ambassadors actually appoint themselves, the strong women in the village. Maybe very often it's like, even in the panchayat, if there's a woman leader, she'll say, hey, I have to give this to everyone, and then she wants to spread it. So we let these local leaders emerge, and then they become the ambassadors. Hopefully that answers your question. I think you had another question, right?
Yes. My second question would be, you have studied in Harvard, which is a great place of learning, we all know. So, for launch of product, I know that you have been a part of India in your initial days. You are born and brought up in Bangalore, but I would like to know, why have you chosen India as a place, as a market for your product?
Why I've chosen India. So that's very much, Anjali, because that is where the challenge exists. So there's a big difference between being a commercial entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur. So a regular entrepreneur may be somebody who starts a tech company, or their mission is purely profit. They have to think, I need to turn my business profitable and make the most money possible. So if you have that lens, you may choose the biggest market, or the market with the most users. So probably you would choose to go after the US. But for me, because I'm a social entrepreneur focused on social innovation, I'm not just thinking about the commercial opportunity. I'm thinking about the social impact that's generated, right? So, for example, we sell Asan cups in the UK, for example, but the woman in the UK, she's already going to work. She doesn't, like, what is success for Asan? It's not just making money, it's enabling a woman who does not have a good solution to be able to work on her period. And that social change can only happen where women are facing that struggle. And the biggest country where women face that struggle is India, right? So it made total sense for me to launch in India. But the point I was making about periods being universal, that's the reason why so many countries have now adopted the Asan Cup, because the challenges are universal. But great questions, thank you. And I hope you
Thank you,
tried
ma'am,
yourself.
for answering the questions.
Great.
Yes.
Anyone else has any other question? Yes, I think Shulagna has typed the question.
Oh, so how many months or years? So an Asan Cup is reusable for up to 10 years, right? So it's a very, very kind of long-term investment. So if you think about it, it costs around 900 rupees. That is the same as what you spend on sanitary pads for less than a year, but it'll last you for 10 years. So it's very economical and also very sustainable.
Okay. Any other
Devlina, I
questions?
have a question.
Yes,
Devlina?
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ira, ma'am. Excellent session. My question is again related with Anjali's question. That is it safe because it is used internally, right? So people have a mental block when they use something internally. So in this context, what's your team message, particularly to the rural women, so that they can feel safe because they are use it internally? It is material, quality of material is good, everything is okay, because that message maybe through the asha workers or the anganwadi workers will spread that. But the people have the mental block, okay, as it is internally used. So what's the role of our the future generation or the any entrepreneur, if you want to do work on this, what she or he will do in this regard?
So absolutely, the material is medical silicone, and it's actually much safer than a pad because a pad contains plastic and toxins, and this education is done in a lot of detail. But to answer your question about, talking to rural women about it being an insertable product, what we've learned at Asan is, you think that an urban woman may adopt something faster than a rural woman, right? Because rural women are not educated. And this may be surprising, and it was surprising